All right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Sunday evening at about 5:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope everyone is doing well. It is very cold outside. It is dark and gloomy. We had a nice sunny day. It was actually, I got outside. My voice is a little cracky. I don't know. Let me take these off. I apologize. I'm fighting a really bad head cold. I missed most of last week. I worked from home most of the week because I was just crappy. I went to urgent care. My beard is all crazy. I haven't had a chance to fix it. I apologize. I went to urgent care yesterday. It's just a head cold. No RSV, no COVID, no anything. Just a cold. So deal with it. Suck it up. Take some cold meds and get better soon. Is about all I could do. But at least I went to urgent care and it wasn't anything serious. And I'm hanging in there. I felt like crap over the weekend. I'm just now starting to feel a little bit better. We got outside today, did some errands, did some grocery shopping, all that fun stuff. And life is good. It was, like I said, nice and sunny. So it was cold, but it was nice to get out. So let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Fajuk Enterprises, I always post on my video as Fajuk was here. Well, sir, you were here. And even though nobody followed the syntax that I had provided, which was to say, yes, Mr. Mean, I want the Fate Mill dice. Uh, there's a couple people that put in comments on the post and I rolled randomly and Fajuk, you won. So you're on my Discord. I'll reach out to you on Discord and I'll get your mailing address. And this will go out into the mail to you tomorrow if all goes well. We are expecting a snowstorm on Tuesday. So if I can't get to the UPS store tomorrow, I will definitely try to get it out as soon as I can. But Fajuk, you won. Thank you for commenting, and I hope it serves you well. Like I said, it's cool. It's a cool die. If you haven't watched this video, guys, go back. It was the last video I did. Go check it out. It's really cool. So congratulations to Fajuk again. You won. I'll reach out to you in Discord to get your mailing address, and I'll send that to you. Might even include some Mr. Mean stickers because I'm cool like that. Um, what else? I'm sorry, I'm a little head's a little foggy with this cold medicine I'm taking. I did want to do a quick video though because I just wanted to get something else out. There's a game that's out there that's been I've been a fan of it for years, and it doesn't get enough attention, and so I wanted to highlight it on the channel here just to let everybody know because you may not be aware of it. I think I've reviewed it in the past. I'm not quite sure. So this is going to be a little bit of a review as well as just a highlight that it's a game you might not know about. Everybody knows about versus the Dark Master because they just had a successful Kickstarter last year. The game did very well, and I backed it. And the book is thick and huge and gorgeous, and it's a really good game. I got to play it, the Batman on my Discord. Him and I played in a campaign that he found, excuse me, somebody that was running it, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't get to play for as long as I wanted due to my work schedule. Excuse me, hiccups. I'm drinking some orange juice with a heavy dose of vitamins in it, so I apologize, but hey, gotta stay hydrated. And I really think those vitamins are keeping the worst of this cold at bay. Because when you get older, you don't recover as fast. And trust me, kids, it sucks. But anyway, versus the Dark Master is a really cool game. But of course, there's been some controversy with it that it's just a reskin of Rollmaster or MERP, Middle Earth role playing, or the one that never gets mentioned, which is amazing to me because I think it was kind of a little more popular. I mean, at least when I was into it, it seemed like their books were everywhere when I was living in Northern California, and there was 3 or 4 different game stores that I would run around to back in the day, and I always saw their books in the game store. I always saw Rollmaster. Rollmaster was pretty popular for its time, or as we used to lovingly call it, Chartmaster. And I got some grief for calling it Chartmaster because people thought I was bagging on it, but I was not. There was something about, you'd do a hit and you'd have to go look to you actually succeeded. And so you'd have to go look on your chart for your weapon to see how much damage you did. And it was, it was just one of those games that's the way the systems worked back then. But versus the Dark Master came out, and it got a lot of accolades, and a lot of people said it was just a clone of Rollmaster or MERP, or those games of the time. And I, after playing it, yeah, there's a lot of similarities, and yeah, they cleaned it up a lot. Is it a direct ripoff of Rollmaster? No, but is it? I mean, is it, in the same vein? Oh yeah, totally. Um, and in fact, I honestly feel you can use any of your Rollmaster or your Harp or your MERP supplements in versus the Dark Master, and they'll work. Very little work will have to be done, and it'll be fine. So is that a good or a bad thing? I think it's a good thing. Anytime you can use any resources that you have for any game that you're running, then that just makes it a more valuable game and makes all of this stuff more valuable to you as either a player and or a GM. So the resources are good and applicable if needed. But the system I wanted to talk about is HARP, because I don't think it gets enough love. I think HARP is an underrated game. It has I don't want to say it's a generic fantasy game, but out of the box, the core rule book, which is amazing, by the way, it's an awesome cover. I mean, it's on the 10. You know what you're getting here. You're getting high fantasy dragons, treasure, a warrior with a magical blade. It appears to be magical. It's all uh, shiny and stuff, but it's a harp. HARP, High Adventure Role Playing, HARP. Now, they make a sci fi version of this. I have never checked it out. It's something I'm interested in, but I just never pulled the trigger. HARP is still around. You can go to ironcrownenterprises.com or ice.com, I believe it is, or ironcrown.com, and you can buy this book right now. They are full presence on Drive Through RPG. There's a link down in the doobly-doo to my Drive Through RPG affiliate link. Feel free to use it and pick this up. You are not going to be dissatisfied. This is a great set of mechanics. It's a percentile-based system. Everybody knows I'm a fan of those types of systems. And you're going to roll really high, hopefully. High is good, low is bad. And you're going to do your offensive bonuses versus their defensive bonuses. You're going to roll, and if you hit, you're going to roll on you're going to take that difference, you're going to add it to whatever's on the weapon chart, and you're going to add it all together, and that's going to tell you how much damage you've done. It's very simple, very elegant system, and it sounds, oh my God, I got to flip the charts, and it becomes second nature, and you're going to know within 2 or 3 sessions, if not less, what your weapon does and how it does it and how it looks and how it works. I'm sorry, I got little strays of hair and it's driving me nuts. You're going to know how things work and the game is very intuitive for being. Let's see, what year was this published? Because this is not a new game, and I'm hoping I can see 2003. So 2003, reprinted 2004, 2011, and 2017. Formerly Guild Companion Publications, and it became Iron Crown Enterprises. ICE, as we call it. Um, it's been around since 2003, guys. It's damn near almost a 20-year-old game. And I think it holds up today. I'll put this up against D&D any day, and I think it's a far better game for 5th edition versus this. I would rather play this than 5th edition. And I think if 5th edition players gave this a fair try, they would like this better, because there is infinitely more customization in this than there ever was in 5th edition D&D. I don't think 5th edition D&D does good for players, as opposed to this. Not this. I'm not saying 5th edition is a bad game. It's a good game. It's just not the game for me. But I think fairly comparing the two together, this is a better game. I think mechanically, this is a better game. I think gameplay, the stories are really relegated to your GM and what kind of story they want to tell and how good of a storyteller they are. That all boils down to your GM. So any game can be amazing if you have an amazing GM. I think um, Matt Colville could run Pony Finder, and we would all have an amazing time, because Matt Colville is an amazing storyteller. Matthew Mercer, same thing. I think he could run, Pony Finder, and we would all be like amazed and want to come back and play more. But it depends on your GM. you got to put a little work into this. This is not cookie cutter. It's not going to be super easy to get up and run. Once you get the formula down, though, it's very easy and it'll flow. Um, I've never played. I've only GM'd. Um, but I like GMing it. I think it's a fun game. And like I said, once your players get, so one of the drawbacks to it, and this falls into Chart Master, Roll Master. This is a derivative of Roll Master. Um, it's going to fall into you're going to have weapon charts. You're going to have magic charts. I think spell casting in this game is phenomenal. And the thing is, weapon combat and stuff. If you're using if you're using a mace, if you're using a bludgeoning weapon, you're going to roll on that bludgeoning chart, and you're going to see, and you can do some amazing criticals, and every combat feels impactful. And you would think that, oh my God, stopping in the middle of combat to see what your chart is, to look on your chart and see how much damage you do, you would think that's going to slow the game down. But once you get into it, it really doesn't. You're going to be diving on this thing, and you'll know as a player, you will know what your capabilities are. And it's just like any game. At first you got to refer to the rules, and then after that you'll just pick it up. And so there's the core book. Now the only downside to this is there's no default setting in here. There's a little bit on the gods, and if they tell you to use whatever gods you want. So again, if you've got resources like Castles and Crusades, where you've got all the Pantheon books, the codexes, those would be great for bringing in the gods, because there's no mechanical data or value that you really need. That's all kind of up to the GM's whim anyway. So those are great GURPS, gods, great resource. Any of your D&D god books, your Pathfinder books, any of those books would be fantastic for this. So again, you can bring whatever Pantheon you want into this world. They do have a book. It's in currently, I don't believe it's available on drive-through, at least the last time I looked, which was yesterday. I didn't see it. But they have Cyrodiil, which is their default fantasy setting. It's a high fantasy setting. It's called Cyrodiil. And if you have a copy of that, let's put it this way. If you have a copy and you don't want it anymore, send it to me. I will buy it from you. I don't have a copy of it. I don't even have a PDF copy of it. If anybody from Iron Crown watches this and you want to support the channel, just send me the PDF of it. I'll print it myself. I just really want a copy of Cyrodiil, and I don't have it. I know they're working on it, and they're going to reproduce it, and it'll be probably available on drive-through as well as their website, I.C.E.'s website. So very active community on there. They have their own forums. I believe they have a Discord as well. Don't quote me on that. But you can purchase everything off of their website as well as Drive-Thru RPG. If you do Drive-Thru RPG, though, please use my affiliate link. It really helps support the channel. And tell them Mr.Mean sent you. That means a lot. I can't tell you how giddy I get when a publisher reaches out to me and says, hey, person bought, a crap ton of books, and they said that you sent them, so thank you. And that means a lot to me, because it means what I'm doing has value. So anyway, Cyrodiil is their setting. They're redoing it, so you can if you're your own world builder and you like to make your own world and want to do your own thing, you might want to look at this rule set, because the mechanics are all done for you. All you have to do is add your flavor, and you're good to go. So it is heavy charts. It is a little bit of math. I have seen players come to the table with calculators. You got to know your strengths and weaknesses. If you're not strong in math, but it's all in the hundreds. It's all by tens. It's not difficult or anything like that. You're going to be doing complex algebraic equations with this. It's pretty simple. It's simple addition and subtraction, maybe a little division here and there. It's not a hard, trust me. But what I like about it is it's well supported. We're talking about a game that's almost 20 years old, and it's got a couple of books. You're not going to break the bank supporting this game, first of all, which is one of the reasons I like it. Um, you want to play a fighter? Martial Law, hardback. And I think this book was $25. And it's got everything you need in it. It is a whopping 111 pages with a complete index. Everything you need to be a fighter, any kind of fighter, is in this book. And like I said, it's got great art. It's all black and white. I like it. I like the art style. And they maintain that art style throughout all of their books. So I don't know who's doing all the art, but they're doing a fantastic job, and it all makes sense. There's a dwarf forging. You can't beat that. But there's all kinds of armor in here. There's everything you need to be a fighter, to equip yourself with arms and equipment, fighting with style, all the mechanics you need. These are not necessary. You don't need these books. They just add options and flavor. So, you want to be a fighter, and you want to, Florentine, and you want to, use weird weapons, you pick up martial law. If it's not covered in the core rule book, you pick up the splat book. So same thing goes for magic. Colleges of Magic. Again, hardback, very well supported. Again, same art, and I think we're looking at 125 pages with a very complete index table of contents. Everything you need to be a magician is in here. All of the magic stuff is in here. So you want to play an esoteric mage, you want to play something weird, it's probably covered in here, and it'll have all the stuff you need to be a mage. The art is pretty solid. Like I said, it's all black and white. There's no color pages in here, and the price reflects that. You're not going to pay $75 for a book, or $60 for a splat book, and you've got all your different cantrips and stuff. So again, you want to play a mage with flavor? Boom, Colleges of Magic. The last book, and these are what I consider the core books, but again, they are not needed. Everything you need is in that core rule book, the HARP core rule book. But this is the loot book. And this is a great book because it's a GM slash player book. And I'd say it's more of a GM book. And I would give the players very limited access to this. Again, hardback, 126 pages. It has some templates in it, which are really cool for doling out treasure and stuff. It's just really well done. All kinds of magical items, all kinds of loot, art. I use this, believe it or not, I use this in my Castles and Crusades game because I like the tables in here and the charts in here better. But that's just me. Again, use the resources that make you happy, that help you facilitate running a better game. So the loot book is amazing in my opinion. It has lots of cool information in it, lots of good stuff. There's all kinds of charts, all kinds of bonus. You can create a magic weapon from scratch, enchanting your items, everything you need to know for loot. Anything regarding loot is in here. Different types of metal to make armor, all different kinds. I mean, there's charts upon charts. It's all kinds of good stuff. What herbs are called, what they do, and what their effects are in the game. Just all kinds of stuff. Loot in the big city, getting ahead in the city, urban environments, the periphery, when core becomes periphery, human city profiles, just all this information that you need for loot, for generating different types of loot and doing different things. My wife is making funny looks at me to tell me she's going downstairs. Um, what you do when you score loot, how to find the people to sell your loot to, all kinds of stuff. So if you're a beginning GM, this is a really good book to add to your repertoire. um, that's my change bucket underneath my desk, and now you've all heard it. Um, if you're a new GM, I would highly recommend this book right here, just as good reading for doling out loot, for learning about how to create loot tables, and how to make a specific loot for your game. This is an amazing GM resource. And kind of a player catalog, but again, I would limit it to players. I wouldn't want them to have a copy at the table, so to speak, because there's things in here you don't want your players to necessarily know what kind of loot is available in their world. Everybody has an idea there's going to be +1 swords, +2 spears, whatever, but excuse me, don't make it common knowledge. So this is an amazing book, really good to have in your arsenal as a GM. I would highly recommend this. And again, excuse me, I think $25, $30 off a dry. I'm sorry, I got hiccups. I apologize, guys. But you got everything in here for an item enchantment, artifacts, intelligent items, potions, talisman, and magical runes. So will help you make just about anything you can run across. So armor, weapons, talismans, necklaces, rings, scrolls, you name it, it's all here. And of course, the core rule book has quite a bit in it as well. Um, I'm interested in running a short-term campaign on my channel. And I think I want to record it. I think I would like to try and use Foundry. Foundry has a generic setting where you can make character sheets. So I have to play with that. I'm going to try to play with that in the coming weeks, especially with the holidays, Christmas coming here real soon. We're going to have a good week off of work for the most part. And I want to be able to devote some time to this because I do think it's a really cool game, and I'm going to use my own fantasy setting. It's a very Greek and German setting uh, with those pantheons because I really like the Greek gods and the German gods or the Norse gods, so to speak. And I have the codexes for both of those for Castles and Crusades. So any information I need on the gods, I have. And there's really no converting of rules mechanics because it's the gods. It's just information that I'm passing on to the players. And I really dig Greek names. I just think they're really cool. So, but I'm really interested. So if you're down for playing, and learning about a little bit more about HARP, I'll put a note down in the doobly-doo, join the Discord, better yet, become a Patreon member, and you get first dibs at any games I run. When I run a game, I reach out to the Patreon members and let them know, or I post on my Discord, which hopefully all of the Patreon members are Discord members. I believe they are, as a matter of fact. But I like to support my Patreons because they help support me, and I appreciate that. So anyway, um, that's HARP, man. I really dig it. I think it's a cool system. I don't think it gets enough love. If you see a book at your local game store, pick it up. Give it a read. You might be impressed with what you read for a 20-year-old game. It's pretty innovative and pretty simplistic. And get past the chart drama. You're only referencing those charts when you're in the midst of combat. Some skills, of course, will you'll need the charts, but for the most part, it's mainly combat or complex magical actions. There's PowerPoints for spellcasters. So if you like that, you can't just sling spells every which way but Sunday, which I kind of like. I want, a fighter can only fight when when he has arrows. When an archer runs out of arrows, he's screwed, right? When a fighter drops his sword, he's screwed. Sure, he might, be able to put up the dukes and fight, you know, unarmed, but he's not nearly as effective as if he had his weapons. Um, Same thing with a magic user. I don't think magic users should be able to sling spells all day long. I like cantrips in D&D. I like the fact that in Pathfinder and D&D, you can cast them all day long. I like that because then it makes your magic user not useless anymore. But we have to remember that I hear a lot of people complain, especially on the D&D side and a lot on the Pathfinder side about, oh, I'm out of spells. All I have is my cantrips. Well, fighter's out of HP. He's got nothing, so there's balance there and there's a reason for that. You can only sling so many spells, and HARP uses PowerPoints, and those PowerPoints allow you to cast spells. They're pretty easy to get back. You can do meditation. There's a skill. You can make a skill check when you have downtime to meditate, and you'll get X amount of PowerPoints back. So the game is well balanced. And if you of course, with any role-playing game, it's all about management. So time and effort management. I think that's one of the great skills that role-playing games teach us in real life is patience, time management, and resource management. And so PowerPoints are a resource, and therefore you need to manage them. You go into a dungeon, you're going to be fighting a dragon at the end of that dungeon if that's the main quest, and the mage goes in there and slings all his spells fighting the goblins in the first level of the dungeon, and now he's out of spells. Whose fault is that? That's the mage's fault, not the fighter's fault. So you got to resource management, and that's part of that is the onus on the player. And so I think this game does a great job of doing that and making you aware that look, this is a finite resource. It does replenish slowly, but be careful. If you sling all your big spells, you're going to be done. And and the nice part though is, I will say, unlike D&D's gotten better at it. Fifth edition has gotten better at the fact that, a mage can use a sword now. He's not trained with it. He can become trained. He can, take a skill proficiency in it, or whatever they call it in fifth edition. I think he can just be trained in melee weapons or whatever. But the nice part is in HARP, just like Rollmaster and MERP, Middle Earth Role Playing, and versus the Dark Master, you can train just, you will never be as good as a fighter because the fighter is a fighter, right? But at least you're proficient enough to swing a sword that you're not useless once you're out of power points. And so that's what I like about it is everybody has a purpose in the game. Everybody's going to provide some sort of support in the game. And the mage and the clerics, when they're out of spells, can at least fight, you know, and have skills that they can use that will help. So if you haven't heard of HARP, go check it out. Download the PDF. It's not terribly expensive. Or if you see it in your local game store, pick up a hard copy. And let me know what you think. It's a good read as far as I'm concerned. I like the way the book is laid out, presented, and read. It reads very well, in my opinion, and I really enjoy it. And it's one of my longtime favorite games. Now, I love Versus the Dark Master, but I would rather play this. I think the setting, the feel, versus the Dark Master has a lot of the same mechanics and the same feel, but this just, I don't know, it's maybe it's nostalgia for me because it's one of the early role-playing games that I really got into when I was collecting games. I used to have all of the books. I unfortunately only have these now. I sold them years ago like an idiot, and they were all softback. I wish I had them, but I don't. And I'm in the process of re-getting them. So use that affiliate link. It helps me so I can buy the other books. And of course, when I get them, I'll do reviews of them when I physically get copies. So anyway, I've rambled on a little bit. I just wanted to put out a video for a little bit and tell you guys about this lost gem that I don't think gets enough attention. I think HARP should really be given a better look at. It's a classic game, but yet I think it holds up well in today's modern games and the way people want to play. Give it a check it out. Let me know what you think. And I think that's all I've got to say on that. As always, like and subscribe. It helps. Let your friends know. If you got a friend who's a HARP fan, turn them on to this video or whatever. Or if they're looking for a new game, turn them on to this video. Get them to like and subscribe. Greases the old algorithm. And as always, join the Discord. It helps out that we have an active community. We talk about all kinds of games, not just HARP. We talk about D&D, Pathfinder, Fate. I mean, we talk about all the games out there. So come in, say hi, chill with some other like-minded GMs. We've got plenty of GMs. We've got several publishers on our channel that are in there. You can, if you're thinking about getting your own game going, there's plenty of people in there to talk to about it. It's a great community. And of course, Discord is free. So check it out. Of course, I mentioned earlier, there's Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to a designator on Discord so everybody knows that you're a Patreon. Get your first dibs on games I run. And also gets you put into usually about quarterly, I do a drawing. This quarter, it was the Fate Mill dice, which Fajuk Enterprises won. I'll be reaching out to him. He is a Discord member, so I'll reach out to him via Discord and I'll let him know that he won that. And every so often I mail out stickers or I mail out an RPG or whatever that I may have an extra copy of. I mail it out to one of my Patreon members to do a random drawing. So other than that, guys, peace and hair grease, and as always, be nice.